The need to take action to save our planet is greater than ever, but the time we have to make significant change is running out. But just as President John F. Kennedy had faith that we could put a person on the moon, the Earthshot Prize remains optimistic that we can repair and regenerate our planet this decade, and sets out 5 challenges to drive essential solutions. Life on Earth would simply not exist without our oceans. But warming temperatures, pollution, and harmful fishing practices are having devastating impacts on them, putting life underwater in jeopardy. Our 3 Revive Our Oceans finalists for the Earthshot Prize believe they have found solutions so that our oceans can continue to sustain and enrich all life on Earth. For one of our most iconic and important ocean marvels, that support starts at home. In recent years, the Great Barrier Reef has come under intense pressure from the climate crisis. An excess of carbon dioxide in the water and a rise in ocean temperatures have seen widespread coral bleaching and devastation for countless marine ecosystems. But help is at hand. A group of Indigenous Australian women are changing the way we look at ocean conservation, giving the Great Barrier Reef a chance of recovery.
My name's Larissa Hale. I'm an Indigenous land and sea ranger in Archer Point, Cape York, Australia. The problems that are affecting our oceans the most is climate change. Along the Great Barrier Reef, the heating of the water is causing our corals to have bigger bleaching events, but it's also affecting our tourism and our economy. I was initially the first Indigenous female ranger coordinator for Queensland, and being the only woman in the room, it was a little bit daunting. I realised that we needed to have more women on country doing land and sea management, and that it is possible for us to do land and sea management. Then in 2018, the government supported for us to create the Queensland Indigenous Women Ranger Network. We had 34 ladies come to that meeting, and then earlier this year we had 124 registered. Our solution supports and mentors and provides culturally appropriate training for these women so that they can use technology to better manage their land and sea country. One way to monitor climate change with the oceans is by capturing the data, and every year you make sure you go back and capture that footage. I believe that our solution is just at the start. Winning the Earthshot 2022 prize would be very humbling. It would provide so much more opportunities for them to get the training that they need to be able to better manage their country.
By providing and empowering people with the knowledge they need to protect and revive their home environments, our oceans have a chance of recovery. But there are others who are trying to stop the threats facing the ocean before they can even get there. The Great Bubble Barrier is a project in the Netherlands that catches plastic pollution in the rivers before it can ever enter the ocean. Using an ingenious and incredibly simple design, this solution could be the answer to the world's plastic pollution problem.
I'm Frances Soet, and I'm the Chief Operations Officer of the Great Bubble Barrier. I grew up in a small village by the lake, so water sports and passion for water was always inside me. But I was also a very environmentally conscious kid, so I had to do something with it later in life. I lived in Amsterdam for quite a while, and seeing plastic in the canals there would really make my heart ache, knowing that this plastic would run off into the North Sea immediately, and it would stay there for the rest of my lifetime. So each year, 1.8 million metric tons of plastic ends up in our oceans, and the majority of it comes via rivers. And with our bubble barrier, we stop plastics before it reaches the oceans, while not hindering ship traffic or fish migration. So the bubble barrier consists of a perforated tube placed on the bottom of a river, and we can press air through that tube, which brings up a curtain of bubbles, and that curtain brings up plastic to the surface. And by placing it diagonally, we can use the natural current of the river to guide waste to the side where we can collect and remove it. For the future, we are aiming for a bubble barrier that can be replicated easily, but that we're also not the only actors to put it in the water. So we would love to work with local contractors, with local organizations to move faster and make a larger impact. And winning the Earthshot Prize would really help us accelerate that move.
Stopping pollution before it can enter the ocean is a simple and effective way to protect our marine environments. But where human ingenuity isn't enough, we must rely on nature to take the reins. And sometimes, all it needs is a push in the right direction.
My name is Jan Verbik. I'm working as a marine scientist. The name of our Earthshot solution is SeaForester. The problem that our solution is trying to solve is the alarming disappearance of seaweed forests that is happening all over the world. Seaweed forests, and I think particularly kelp forests, are incredibly important. They can actually absorb CO2 at least 5 times more efficiently than a tropical forest on land, and this is due to the sheer speed at which these algae can grow. Kelp forests have already been decimated across the world. We've lost around 50% of them in the past few decades. Our solution to restore the forgotten forests of seaweeds is using quite innovative seaforestation techniques to replant these habitats. So one of our main tools is a technique called green gravel. We use small stones that we seed with seaweed spores. We grow them for a period of time in our land-based nursery, and then they just deployed at sea by just simply scattering from a boat. The beauty of this is that it's very cost effective because we're not diving. It's very scalable because you can really apply this over large areas, and this is really, really needed at this time because the amount of seaweed forests that we're losing, you cannot restore with conventional methods. Winning the Earthshot 2022 prize would mean a lot to myself, but also to SeaForester, because this is really showing that what we have developed, our solution and what we're working on, has value, and it's something that should be scaled and implemented across the world.
The ocean is one of the most threatened environments on our planet, and yet it is one on which our very survival depends. These 3 finalists have all found ingenious and unique ways to help protect the world's seas and give them a chance to bounce back. If they inspire others to do the same, then hope remains that we will achieve this most vital, urgent Earthshot and give ourselves the chance to revive our oceans.